Hi, it's Jason Gorber from That Shelf, and we're here to talk about Godzilla. Yeah, this is yet another Godzilla film. It's sort of a reboot of a reboot of a reboot, but that's okay. I mean, there's something fundamental to the giant creature, the kaiju storyline, which really does speak not only to multi-generations, but from people all over the world. Obviously, the original Godzilla started in Japan as not only a big monster movie as part of their tradition, but as a parable, as a film about man's effect on the environment, about how nuclear testing resulted in this giant creature that came to bite us, the laws of unintended consequences, as it were. And very much that sort of caught on the tradition. Anything between all the silly creatures and all the other sort of fighting stuff that, we love, there was always this sort of sense that there was something more to the storyline. The challenge then is to see something that takes that seriously, but still gives us entertaining. I actually really liked Gareth Edwards' last version of Godzilla. It was, again, the sort of newest version, the reboot. It really gave a sense of scale. It gave you a sense of these giant things outside of our control, like the environment, that we sort of are succumb to. That when these things come into our environment, we think that we're in complete control, and actually we're not. I thought it was really beautifully done, and while a lot of people thought that there wasn't enough Godzilla in it, I thought it was a really interesting way of taking that storyline and sort of bring it in, and again, taking it seriously but not being too dour and too serious. Which brings us to Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which unfortunately I just really, really did not enjoy. I wanted so much for it to actually bring on that spirit that we had seen before and do what really this film exists to do, which is be a building block like we see so often now with comic book movies. I mean, there's so much out there now that it's just this film has to be seen in order for the next films to be made. Really, this is a building block for the next iteration that they're doing, that they're bringing the world of Kong and they're bringing the world of Godzilla together as some sort of grand battle. Now, if you look at Skull Island, that sort of lovely, crazy Apocalypse Now-y version of King Kong, that was also a lot of fun, but it also, again, it encapsulated that storyline into itself. This Godzilla King of the Monsters just feels like they're throwing everything at the wall that they can to see what sticks. In a weird way, it actually echoes a little bit of Batman v Superman, a film that also I hated a little bit less than some of the true fanboys, but nonetheless has this echo. That what happens to the ramifications? What happens to a family that has seen its loss and seen destruction, and how are they going to react to the monsters from the film before? We got Vera Farmiga in the lead role, called Chandler. A bunch of other people running around. Some people have come back from the other film, like Ken Watanabe, and they're just trying to figure out a way of how to sort of live with these monsters, and some of them actually take the Titans and want to use it to shift the way that humanity actually works. It's this very long, convoluted, eco-terroristic storyline that really falls incredibly flat. Look, there's a horrendous scene where you have essentially the protagonist, the person who's become the protagonist, explaining to somebody who knows them very well, this is my plan, this is my dastardly plan, and about how I'm going to make everything work. And they use stock video footage. It would be like a James Bond video, James Bond villain suddenly pulling out a PowerPoint presentation. It's just ridiculous. When the monsters actually do show up, when Godzilla shows up and is all glowy, and we got Mothra and we got Rodan, and we have these sort of classic kaiju from the storyline, it's pretty good. The images are okay. The sort of steamy, smoky look works. But again, I didn't feel that we saw much that wasn't in the previous film and done much and significantly better. I thought the framing and the angles, other than a few really strong sort of comic booky shots where you have a solid frame of, flames coming up, other than that, it just really didn't move me very much. And then when you have some pretty horrendous character moments, it all feels supremely, supremely flat. So I think this is absolutely not only a missed opportunity to actually re-inject some life into this storyline, but it really doesn't make me it bodes pretty poorly about what they're actually going to do with the series moving forward.